Hey guys, Grisel here, and today I'm just going to do a regular monthly check-in, although I feel like I haven't done a monthly update in a while, but I'm going to try to wrap it all up for October. Probably not going to post this until November has come, if I'm being 100% honest. The reason being because October has been a hot mess of a month. So I had all the best intentions to turn this month into a productive one, to finish up my last bit of editing on my writing project, because it is at the stage where finally I have officially started writing query letters and synopses. I have started doing agent research. I do finally feel like I'm at a stage where the manuscript is as clean as it's going to get, and I feel good with that. I have a 44 to-do item list right now of last edits to work on, and then I have a proofread quick edit of the next section, which is the first 50 pages of the manuscript, because on the off chance that somebody decides to request more pages, I would like to have a solid first 50 pages, because that's usually what gets requested, that has been cleaned up and edited and is good to go for whatever miracle of miracles may occur. So my level of optimism is pretty low, because that's just the way the reality of publishing works. So I am optimistic, but cautiously so. So I will... Cats in the background. That is my life, so we're gonna have to deal with it. So I am getting ready to do that. Hopefully going to have something, which puts me also at a bad place as far as submissions, because November is NaNoWriMo month. So if I submit at any point between now and February, people might think this is a NaNoWriMo novel, which it is not. Originally it was, but it is most definitely not at this stage. So timing my queries is going to be a concern going forward from here. I'm gonna have to figure that out, because holidays are coming. That's a bad time. Not a good time to do this. Delays that led to me being at this stage at this time of the year happened, and I couldn't do anything to prevent those. But this is not the perfect time to query, based on my research and just what I've heard. But you never know. You know, you give it a shot, you try. They might not even read my messages for a few months, so who knows. But it is a sensitive time in which to query, because there are the holidays coming up. People in publishing, from what I've heard, tend to disappear, as they do in most professions around this time, if you are so lucky. Totally understand that. So holidays, not a good time to query. Right after NaNoWriMo, not a good time to query, because sometimes they get inundated with those people who are like, I wrote a novel, publish it. That's not how that works. So there's that. You might end up in that mess of messages and not really be noticed. And then, you know, coming back from the holidays, if you go on vacation, you know, you come back with like this sense of like the slow trudging back into the busy schedule. So I don't know when I am going to really do this. I am debating whether or not to just take the plunge and start querying as soon as possible, or hold off until late January, early February, and just keep working on other manuscripts in the meantime and just doing the final polishes. So that is something for me to consider and weigh and debate. I definitely know that December is basically a wash, so nothing is really going to get done in December. I'm not even going to bother sending anything. So if I don't have something ready to go first couple of weeks of November, I'm just going to probably hold off till January or February at best. So not exactly what I wanted as far as like my yearly goal for myself as far as the manuscript went, but stuff happened. There were a lot of things that happened this year, a lot of distractions and a lot of personal health issues that crept up and had to be dealt with. So I'm taking it easy with myself. I'm learning to slow down, not guilt trip myself. So October has been one of those months where I'm trying to catch up. I've been working on writing exercises in the meantime, just to keep myself going, and I feel pretty good about the draft. I just, you know, wish I had wrapped everything up by this stage. I really wanted to get most of everything done by September, and that didn't happen. Then I completely missed my October goal because, again, life stuff happened. I had a few major migraine weeks in the last couple of weeks, and This has just been a crazy semester. So as soon as the fall term started for me, those of you who don't know, I am a librarian at a university. So my life is structured around the academic term. The fall term tends to be the busiest, but this year has just been busy and a half. It's been more involved than I remember for a while. There, we have some busier terms than others. We get some terms with more students than others. But this one has just been especially busy for me. Not least of which is because I have been doing more of the administrative stuff. I have really had to do a lot more administration this year. I was promoted last year, so I guess, with being promoted come all the extra benefits of being promoted, which is sitting in a lot of meetings that I don't particularly care for. But so it goes with more responsibility, I have a lot of meetings. Every week I'm sitting in meetings for 3 to 6 hours, which is a lot. That's a huge chunk of time, and a lot of them are meetings that sometimes get a little bit intense, can sometimes get a little controversial, or even if they don't get particularly controversial, they kind of just drain me. So by the time I come home, I want to do nothing. As a result, this semester I've also started getting up earlier because I know, even though I'm not a proponent of the get up at 4 a.m. to get stuff done thing, that's not me. I have, however, switched up my wake up time to 30 minutes before my usual. I tried doing a 5 a.m. schedule, that did not work. I crashed and burned after the first week, but it was a good learning experience. I'm doing a 5:30 a.m. wake up time now, mostly because I have an hour-long commute each way, every single day. And as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, sort of like streamlining my morning routine really helps me to at least get through my day a little bit easier. So going out a little bit earlier means that I can come home a little bit earlier, but it also means I can get into work before most other people are at work, and therefore I have quiet time. I have a solid 2 to 2.5 hours where there are very few interruptions and there are absolutely no meetings, because luckily nobody will schedule a meeting before 9 a.m. generally. Most of my meetings tend to be in the afternoon, but at least it gives me a solid amount of time where I can get my own work done before I basically have to sit and listen to people complain or talk for 2 to 3 hours. At least once a week. That's just the way it's going. And because of that, it's kind of drained me a lot throughout the semester, especially then because I have my real work to do, which is involving a lot of student help and teaching and stuff like that. And if you haven't guessed already, I am an introvert, and I do definitely suffer from the introvert drain, as I call it. Like, if I have to have too many days of meetings and dealing with crowds and handling people, and most of my job is handling people, but there are different levels of handling people. If I have to be just constantly turned on, that is a huge drain, and that will generally burn me out by Friday. So haven't had much opportunity to take time away this semester because of all the meetings, and it's been a little bit hard to get more me time. Right now, I am taking a research day / a mental health day. So I went to work part-time, did some stuff, and I am resting for the rest of the afternoon because I have had 2 straight days of migraines. Today is a better day, but I felt like I needed it. I have had multiple meetings this week, classes to teach, a lot of people to deal with, a lot of problems to handle, and it just felt like I needed this. And I know not everybody has the opportunity to do that, but if you do have the opportunity and you can take a mental health day, take a mental health day. It is so good, so important that we take time to get away from things and just sort of like let our brains decompress for a little bit and just let everything go, because otherwise the amount of burnout I have seen and people who are just completely unmotivated to do their jobs, and I have been there, I've experienced, that point where you are so completely drained that you can't do anything else. And October felt really draining to me, and that is why last week I took a day off and today I took a day off, and it was hard to get those days off because looking at my calendar, I actually saw one of my coworkers' calendars yesterday, and I saw how little stuff there was on it, and I missed those days. I miss the days when I could look at my calendar and just see maybe one little thing blocked off. I currently have a planner and 2 separate calendars, and they're all full. So I just needed some time, and I know that I will definitely be making time for myself at the end of the semester and trying to plan more time in the future, because this has just been an especially draining month and an especially draining semester so far. The holidays are coming, so that's a good thing for me to look forward to. So I'm definitely looking forward to November and hoping that I will get back into a creative mindset, that I will be able to let go of some of the work mindset and get back into creative mode. I have a hard time being especially creative if I am kind of like constantly turned on and my wheels are just turning for work. And that happens a lot because if I get into the academic brain, it's kind of hard for me to get back into the creative writing brain. And that's been an issue. I tried a little bit of watercolor painting for a bit because I used to love watercolor painting and haven't really practiced that in a long time. So I did a little bit of that last month, and I've had absolutely no time to even try that this month. That was a good outlet because it allowed me to kind of like exercise a different part of my creativity. I've had no time for it this month, and that's been unfortunate because I was enjoying it, and I'm planning on getting back into it as soon as I can. Again, trying maybe for November, maybe things will ease up and I'll be able to get back into that. So October's been an interesting month. Not much has happened, and yet a lot has happened. So not much has happened that I wanted to happen, but all the other stuff has happened, which is just kind of how sometimes your month goes. And that's why I've been really not present on the blog, not present on the channel, even though I told myself that I would make more of an effort to be more active and make more videos, but just haven't had the time. And when something has to give, it's usually the extra stuff. And this is the extra stuff, so that's what happened. So that's why I haven't been around as much. I hope to be around a little bit more. There's some stuff I want to talk to. I've been taking Gretchen Rubin's 4 Tendencies course, which was one of the things that made November kind of a little extra because I decided to sign up for 2 separate online courses, one being involved with management and my area of study, and the other one being Gretchen Rubin's 4 Tendencies, which has revealed a lot about myself and how I motivate myself and the people I work with. So I kind of want to make a video about that and explain a little bit about that, the context and how I got interested in and all that. It's been a great course, but it has been also another thing that kind of added onto my plate. And then the management course was really good too, but I'm kind of glad it's over because it was a 5-week course that started in September and it's finished. And that's good because I was reaching the point where I couldn't keep up with everything and the readings, which goes to show that I am not in a good place to go back to school. Not that I was planning to, but every so often, because I do work at a university and I get free tuition if I so choose, I have these moments where I think, oh, I should be doing something else with myself. Again, it's part of that mindset of we should be on all the time and doing more and learning more and doing all the things. And sometimes you have to step back and slow down and reevaluate what you can do and what you can do well, because trying to do it all sometimes means you're just half-assing a little bit of everything, or that something is just gonna fall through the cracks. And every so often I will sit in a meeting and hear about a great new course that's coming up, especially graphic design related or anything art related. Sometimes I'm really interested in nutrition, and there have been a few courses that have intrigued me. And I tell myself, well, maybe if the writing doesn't pan out in a few years, I'll do something like a class. This semester has shown me that that would require a lot of extra effort on my part, because life is not so easy when you're trying to balance a full-time job and a full-time writing career on the outside that is just self-motivated, and then also trying to add classes to it. So October was a revealing month is all I'm saying. This has been an interesting month, and I've learned a lot about myself and what I can do and what I should cut back. So that's where I'm at. That's what October looked like. I will try to make these more regular, and I do want to talk about my writing process next as well. So I'm planning something related to the 4 Tendencies, something related to my writing process, because at this point I can like evaluate the whole thing from beginning to end up to this point. And I'm gonna try to work on some stuff coming in the future, but no promises, because if November looks as crazy as October, I may be back where I started. But I will try to check you guys out later, and do leave any comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Give this video a thumbs up if you would like to see more monthly updates from me, or if you have any questions or want me to comment on any of the many things I just kind of rambled about, feel free to drop that down below. Bye.